For the Rebel.media, I'm Ezra Levant. I am standing here on Thursday morning. It's 10 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. I'm in Peterborough in the United Kingdom, a city where Tommy Robinson is suing the Cambridgeshire Constabulary because those police a couple of years ago came and kicked Tommy and his young kids out of a restaurant where he was peacefully enjoying a family day out, watching some football on the TV. His kids were having fun, candy floss. The cops said, "Get out of the restaurant now or we'll arrest you." Tommy protested, but left anyways. And then they said, "Now get out of town or we'll arrest you." And they frog marched him to the train station, the railway station, filming him the whole time. His kids were in tears. It was awful. Tommy filmed the whole thing on his own cell phone cam. And that has actually been the heart of the evidence over the last few days here in the county court. Today is day 3. I came over from Toronto at Tommy's request to cover this because there has been very scant media attention to this trial. My theory for that is that the media loves to cover Tommy's trials when he's the one on defense, when he's the one accused of something, when he's in jeopardy. However, when he's on the hunt and when the bulk of the evidence is the misconduct of the police, well, then the media suddenly lose interest in Tommy Robinson. Although I did see a group of them here today simply to capture his arrival, I haven't seen the BBC, Channel 4, the Daily Mail, Daily Mirror, any of the big media inside. Anyhow, that's a scene setter. So what evidence have we heard so far? Well, Tommy Robinson himself gave his testimony on the first day. After that, we had a series of police officers from Cambridgeshire Police itself. And most of them, as you would suspect, say they did absolutely nothing wrong and that they were simply following the rules. And some of them even claimed that they had no clue who Tommy Robinson was, and this most certainly wasn't picking on him for any political reasons. There were some hard to explain moments, though, when Tommy's lawyer pointed out that Tommy was not exhibiting any of the usual reasons why police would arrest someone at a football match. As you know, in the UK, there is a culture of wild football fans. They call them hooligans. They get drunk. They travel around. Tommy doesn't meet those indicia, though. He doesn't do those things. He was out with his family. He was not drinking. He was drinking water all day, the evidence was. He was with his kids. People with their kids don't get into fights. He was sitting in the restaurant for the bulk of the day watching a match on TV. In fact, the landlady from the restaurant came over to the cops and said, "What are you doing? He's fine. He's not causing a problem at all." So throughout the day, you had the testimony from the police saying, "Well, Tommy, we picked him up for this legitimate reason." But upon scrutiny, those reasons really weren't there. In fact, I thought one of the most curious moments was when one of the police said, "Well, he might not have been drunk, and he might not have been with any risky hooligans, and he might not have had this, and sure, he had his kids there, but," and I think there was an actual chuckle in the courtroom when this was said, I'm trying to recall, "but some other football fan, whose name I don't remember, was just walking by and said, 'Oi, mate, that Tommy Robinson, he's your trouble.'" And that was my intel. The cop actually called that intelligence. What a joke. That's my view, but I should stop right there before I give any more of my views, because I should tell you that as I've been live tweeting over the last couple of days, I've infused my reportage with my own opinions, and that has been a problem. And the judge, in fact, on several occasions, told me to stop doing that. In fact, after court yesterday, called me back into the courtroom. It was me, both of the parties' lawyers, the judge, and she said, "Stop giving your opinions. Just don't." And I didn't want to quarrel with the judge. It's her court. It's her trial. I'm not a party in the trial. I'm not a lawyer in the trial. I'm not even a citizen. I'm a Canadian. I believe in justice, and I think Tommy ought to have a fair trial. And he's a friend of mine, and of course our viewers crowdfunded for me to be here. But it's not for me to quarrel with the judge. And even though I believe that opinion journalism is an essential form of journalism, in fact, some would say it's the most common form of journalism, but the judge was crystal clear to me. She did not want me opining at all, either in my live tweets or in my videos outside the court, or she said, even after the trial is over and before she issues her judgment. So I'm going to comply with that. In fact, I asked her if there was anything in particular she was upset with, and yesterday and then again this morning, I actually took down 10 of my tweets that I had done that were perhaps provocative. I mean, where I come from in Canada and also in the United States, you're allowed to be provocative. You're allowed to be critical. You're allowed to call it like you see it. If you have an honestly held belief that the police are lying, you can say that. You don't want to cause the integrity of the trial itself to be jeopardized, but there's no jury here. It's a judge alone. And, but I wasn't going to get into an argument with the judge. I submitted. I said, Your Honor, just tell me what you want me to do. So that's what she wanted me to do. And so that's my long way of saying, for the rest of today, my tweets will be quite anodyne. They will have minimal, if any, commentary, and because I don't need to get offside with the judge. Now, I understand that the ruling on this matter may come as soon as tomorrow, and I regret that I simply must leave the United Kingdom today. I promised Tommy I would come for 3 days, and today is the third day, and I must go home today. I have obligations that I cannot avoid. So if the ruling comes down, or if the trial, in fact, continues on till tomorrow on Friday, I regret I won't be here. But I've talked to Tommy, and he has agreed to send me any news. For example, if there's a ruling, he'll send that to me immediately by email. And even if I'm back in Canada, I'll give you my thoughts and my report on it. And of course, remember, at that point, any limitations on me about not giving my opinions should be gone. Anyhow, that's my morning report. Today, I understand that the most important evidence will be given by a Luton police officer named Police Constable Mason. And the reason that's important is because he would know Tommy Robinson from seeing Tommy at football matches around Luton. And what we learned yesterday is that when these football teams travel around, they travel with police from their hometown. So if the Luton Football Club is up at Newcastle, for example, it won't just be Newcastle police, it'll be Luton police there too, because they know their fans and the ones who might be trouble. So in the case at bar here, Tommy and other Luton fans were in Cambridgeshire for a football game, and there were cops from both the local constabulary and the ones from Bedfordshire, Luton. So what this officer will likely testify to is his knowledge of Tommy on a long-term basis, as opposed to Cambridgeshire cops who had never met him before. Now, the judge specifically said I ought not to guess or speculate about what the testimony will be, and that's fine. Again, I'm going to submit to the judge's will. But we'll see if it is, in fact, about Tommy's long-standing reputation as a law-abiding, peaceful soccer fan. Anyway, that's my morning report. I hope to have another report at noon. I hope I don't get into any more trouble with the judge, but I have to say, this is not the robust, free press that I'm used to in Canada, so just out of sheer habit, I might say something that, I don't know, is too opinionated. And I don't plan to, and I don't hope to, because I'm here to cover Tommy's trial, not to cause a trial of my own. I'll keep you posted. All my videos will be at TommyTrial.com. I'll live tweet throughout the day. Hopefully I won't get afoul of the judge. I have to go home tonight to Toronto. I will continue to cover this from Canada. And I thank you for your support. For those of you who helped crowdfund my expenses to come here, thank you. You can see all of my videos at TommyTrial.com. And if you feel moved to chip in to help cover my costs, you can do so on that page as well. Thanks very much. I'm here in Peterborough, UK, covering one of Tommy's trials, but this is a trial where he's on the offense, suing police for their abuse of him and his family. To see all my videos and to help cover my crowdfunded expenses, please go to TommyTrial.com.